Hello and welcome to another Fotospeed YouTube video from me, Tim Jones. Today I'm going to be looking at the Media Configuration Tool, and this links very nicely into my video on the Canon accountancy software that I have just released as well. So after this video, go and have a watch of that one because they link in very nicely, because the best way to use the accountancy software and to track how much your prints are actually costing and to get a really good accurate number and reporting from that software is to actually create your own custom media types for the Pro series printers from Canon. So we're talking about the imagePROGRAF Pro range from the Pro 310 right up to the Pro 6600. So that includes the Pro 310, the Pro 1100, the Pro 2600, the 4600 and the 6600 as well. And you can do this on all of those printers. So without further ado, a little bit of housekeeping to start with. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel. I'm sure all of you are, but if you're not, please click that subscribe button. It really helps us to spread the word of printing in the world. Also, don't forget to sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter on photospeed.com and download the free ebook that covers everything you need to know about printing from photospeed.com, and it's called The Art of Printing, and it's completely free. So please go on photospeed.com and download that now, or click some of the links in the description below for you. Okay, so Media Configuration Tool by Canon. It is a little bit of software that allows you to configure media types that you can select within your print settings, in your print driver, to your own specifications. This is really handy if you want to use it with the Canon accountancy software as well, because you can rename the media types and you can call them anything you want, basically. So we're going to be putting in a Fotospeed paper today into this printer, but you can put anything you want and you can name it anything you want as well. And you can do some really nice little features like apply profiles to that media type. You can apply feed adjustments. You can change ink densities and things like that as well. But I will take you through those different options as we're going through the software. So enough of me talking about what the media configuration is. Let me show you and get onto the computer and show you how we go about creating custom media types in the printer. Now, the printer I'm going to be using today is the Canon Pro 1100, but like I said, you can do it in all the imagePROGRAF Pro series, and you can do this as well. Okay, so onto the computer, and let's get onto the Canon website to download the software. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go to the Canon website. I've gone to canon.co.uk because I'm here in the UK, but if you are in other countries in the world, please just go to your specific country like Canon US or whatever, wherever you are in the world. Okay, so if you hover over help and support when you're actually on the website, this menu comes up and it will give you some options here. What we're looking for is product support, which is on the left hand side, and software. So we'll click on that one and we come up with Canon product support. Next thing we need to just scroll down, and then it says select your product. So we are going to just tap in here the Pro 1100 and then click on one of those, and then it comes up for us here. And we're going to scroll down. So we've got a nice picture of the Pro 1100 here. We're just going to scroll down. We've got driver, software, manual, apps and functions. We're going to click on software. Now we're going to just check our operating system. As I've said in other videos, my laptop is a little bit old now and we're still on Monterey, but everything is still the same, even if you're on Sequoia and things like that, to just check that you are on the right operating system here. Now, I'm going to scroll down past the accountancy manager that we covered in the other video. And we're just going to keep scrolling down until we come to one that says the Media Configuration Tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click download, and then it will download into my downloads. I'm going to pop it on the desktop so it's nice and easy to find, and it's just there for me. So let me just minimize this, and then there it is. So now I'm just going to click on this, and then I'm just going to go through the installation process. This is the same process on a PC as well. I know I'm on a Mac here, but it's the same process on a PC as well. This bit of installation might look a little bit different, but it's the same kind of process. So we're just going to double click on this, And we're just going to run through the installation very quickly just to get this installed, basically. And use my password, so pop that in. There we go. There we go, and that horrible noise means that it's installed correctly. So that's fine. I'm just going to close all this now. Now, I'm just going to launch the software. So in my Canon utilities, I have the Media Configuration Tool. So I'm just going to click on this one, and then I'm going to run through the license agreement. Again, this will be the same on Windows. So we're just going to run through that. It's just going to search for printers now. Now, I'm actually connected USB here, but you can actually do it through Wi-Fi if you wanted as well. I just do it through USB because it's a little bit quicker. And purposes of video and things like that, it's just a little bit quicker. So we're just going to click OK, and then it's going to communicate with the printer, and it's going to acquire all the information from the printer. So I'm just going to get the latest media information from the internet. So this will update if Canon have updated any media in the time that we installed the printer and we last ran this bit of software. A bit like a firmware update, it'll just go through and make sure everything is updated. So the next thing you need to do, I'm just going to close this here. So that's all updated. It's just given all the updates for us. Now, what it's going to show me here is what papers are installed on the printer. You can actually put up to 35 different papers on this printer. And some of them can't be deleted, they're just standard Canon ones, but let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see what's on there. So this is all the papers that are on this printer at the minute. You'll see there's already some custom ones at the bottom here. NST Bright White, which is a Fotospeed paper, PF Luster and Natural Smooth, which is what I used in the accountancy software video. You'll also see all the Canon standard media types as well that we may be selecting as just generic media types when we go and print some paper like heavyweight fine art and plus semi-gloss and things like that. Okay, but you can split this down as well, so you can see my custom ones here. We can split these all down. But we're not too interested in that at the minute. What we're going to do, I'm going to show you how we add a media type to this software and create what's called a custom media type. So first thing we need to do is click where it says custom paper here. And there's a little bit of a picture of a paper with a plus on. If we click this, then what happens is we come up with create custom paper. And this is basically how we do it. We just run through this process. The first thing we need to do is asking us, select the media information you would like to base your media type on. So I'm going to do a custom media type for our new paper, our platinum etching cotton, and I'm going to add that to this printer. So we have that custom media type on there. So for this, the base media type is heavyweight fine art paper, which is heavy art paper here. So I'm going to select that, and that's what's going to base my custom media type on. So I'm going to click next. And then it asks me to name the paper. So I'm going to call it Platinum Etching Cotton. Now you are limited on characters in here, 310. So it may be, when we come to actually putting the name in on the printer, I may need to abbreviate some bits, but I will give it a go and see. Cotton 310, it's there at the minute. So, there we go. And the entered text is too long, so I can't actually do that. So if I just abbreviate that down, plat, maybe will that do it? Yep, that's absolutely fine. So what it's going to do now is send this media type over to the printer for me. So I'm going to just click yes in here, and it's just going to then add that media type to this printer and the control panel on the printer, which I'll show you in a second. And I'll show you that it is actually appeared on the printer. And now it says, would you like to update the printer driver as well? I'm going to say yes, I would. And what it's going to do then is update the media information in the driver. Now this is different on different computers. I'm on a Mac here, so it's going to take me through this process here. So what it does is just check the media type in the printer, and then it will hopefully tell me that there are some new papers that it would like to add, and it will add those to the printer for me as soon as I click yes. I might need to enter my password in a second, We'll just wait for it to finish this though. Okay, so it's just updated the media types in the driver and everything as well. Now, says to us here, the custom paper's media information can be edited. Would you like to edit it? Yes. Now, if you didn't want to do anything to the kind of paper or anything, you didn't want to kind of edit it or anything, we could just click no now, and you'd have a media type based on the heavyweight fine art media type, but with the name of Platinum Etching Cotton 310. So that's absolutely fine, because that's all you're effectively doing if you're selecting heavyweight fine art on the printer, just as a generic media type, applying the profile and then clicking print. That's effectively all you're doing. So that's absolutely fine to do. Now, that is great because we can use that with the accountancy software, absolutely fine. However, there is another level to this where we can actually go in and start performing feed adjustments. If you're ever seeing any banding with certain media types and we just want to refine that, we can go in and edit this. So if I click on yes here, you'll see some more options. We've got feed adjustment, advanced paper print settings, advanced paper settings in here where we can change ink usage and things like that, head height as well. Then we've got print target, which is Canon's very crude version of profiling effectively. And we can also embed an ICC profile into this media type. So effectively we can say printer manages colors and select the media type, and it will use the profile that's embedded in that media type because it's actually in the printer itself. So instead of selecting like Photoshop manages colors or Lightroom manages colors and then selecting the profile, we can just embed a profile in here and do it that way. However, let's start with the feed adjustment, because this is one that's very, very useful if you're ever seeing any banding or anything like that. So basically what we need to do to start with is I need to get up and I need to change the setting on the printer to actually reflect that we've got Platinum Etching Cotton in the printer. So let me just do that first of all, and I'll show you where those media types are at the bottom of the list. And you can see that it's actually moved across there. So let me show you that quickly now. Okay, so here we are on the printer. As I said, the first thing we need to do is change the media type here. So instead of A4 plus semi-gloss, what I need it to say is A4 Platinum Etching Cotton. So if I just go down here, on the large format machines, this will actually be touchscreen. So on here, I'm just going to, A4 is fine, I'm just going to go down to the type, and then we can scroll through the media types. And then hopefully we got NST bright white, platinum, there we go, Platinum Etching Cotton, there we are. So there we go, that is set, and I'll just click register, and that's all we need to do. And then that's set. So back on the computer and we'll do that feed adjustment. So here we are back on the computer, we've got everything set on the printer. I'm just going to click on where it says paper feed adjustment, and we're going to put it in top feed because that's where we are. We're on A4. And then I'm just going to click OK. It says it takes about 10 minutes. It doesn't, trust me. So just click yes, and it will do the feed adjustment for us. I'm not going to go through the whole thing and make you sit here and watch it. So I will see you in a couple of seconds with the feed adjustment in my hand. Okay, so the feed adjustment is complete. It prints a chart like this with all these lovely grey lines on it. We don't need to keep this now. Basically, as the print was coming out, the head was sensing all these lines and speeding up and slowing down the feed to adjust, basically the feed adjustment. So you don't see any banding in your prints. And it's really useful if you are seeing any banding, especially if you're using roll machine or something like that, or a large format machine, then it's really useful tool to do. Now, back on the computer, it will say that your feed adjustment is complete, which is great. Now, you can update at this point. They will just add that to the media type for you. But I just want to go through some of the advanced settings here. We've got, you can dry and time it, basically hold the print for you and things like that. If you're on a roll machine, you may have a few more options in here. The ink usage, I normally would go for the Canon base media type in here, but you can run test prints. So you can print a standard print against a high to medium print and things like this in here. So you can run these, which I am going to run a couple of these. So in here, we have test print settings. So obviously we're going to print the highest quality we can. I want to print medium to high, standard, and the Canon base. So I've got those three to actually test against and have a look at. I'm just going to use the standard Canon image. I haven't got a specific image that I kind of run for these, but you can if you want to. So let me just start printing. We're going to print those. And then we'll have a look at them and just see which is the best for ink density, and we'll have a look at them. What we're looking for is detail and definition of the blacks and highlights and things like that. But as soon as it's printed, I will come back to you and I will show you, and we will go through which one I would pick and why. Okay, so here they are. Here's my ink tests. I've got one on standard, which is this one here, one on the Canon base media type, standard again, so these two should be pretty much the same, and then a medium to high in here. So what I'm kind of looking for is if there's any artifacts, or kind of you can see any grain or anything going on, or in here there's any funny things happening, which I don't think there is. I can't really see a massive difference between any of them, to be honest. Now I put them all side by side, I've said that, I might go back on that comment, to be honest, because it's the blue areas on the Canon base in here. These blues don't look as dark as just these two, one on standard and one on medium high. The one on the medium high setting does have a lot more density in there. I don't think we're losing any detail, but it is just a little bit more, a little bit darker, a little bit punchier, shall we say. So I suppose it depends on the look you want for your prints, and what matches your system better. So for me, I'm going to set this to medium high. So back on the computer where it says ink usage, I'm just going to set this to medium high. I've done my test print. The head height standard, it wasn't catching. Now, just out of experience with the platinum etching cotton, I'm going to pop this on medium high. It just raises the head a little bit for us, and also it just stops the head catching very, very slightly. Strictly speaking, after this, I suppose we should do another test print just to see if everything's nice and sharp again in the text and things in here, because we have raised that head a little bit. But just from experience, I'm not going to bore you any longer with this. So normally I would say, yes, click on test print again, and then set that head height and do another test in here as well. But I'll just leave it at that for the minute, and hopefully you'll take my word that that should be absolutely fine. So the next one is calibration target. We don't need to do that. That's, like I said, it's something that Canon put into printers to try and keep everything in line with profiles and things like that, as how I understand it. The other thing here is ICC profile. Now you've got two choices with this option. You can click on the browse button and you can add an ICC profile to that media type. So I like to just use the search function, platinum etching cotton. So we've got some profiles in there. I haven't got an 1100 profile actually, which is very strange. But if you had, you would just search for a profile, pop it in here, and then you could use it. What I would normally do, I'd like to leave this blank personally. It's a completely personal thing. If you apply a profile in here, what happens is you apply the printer's own color management. So you printer manages colors and you don't apply an ICC profile in Photoshop, Lightroom, or whatever software you're printing through. You let the printer manage the colors because the profiles are assigned in here. I don't know why. Personally, I like to leave the profile and pop it into Photoshop, Lightroom and things like that. Not too sure why, I just do. It's a completely personal thing. So there's two choices there. I'll leave it up to you which one you decide. There's no right or wrong. They should both give the same results. It's just what you prefer. I prefer just leaving it blank though. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is just click update, and that will then add all those settings to the media type in the printer for us. It will also give us the option to update the media type in the computer as well. And then in our print driver, we'll be able to go to a custom section and be able to select that paper that I'll show you in a second. and we'll be able to print from it. So that's basically how we create a custom media type in the media configuration tool for a Canon printer. Like I said, it can be really useful if we're using the accountancy software because it gives us accurate results on the media type we're going to be using in certain sizes and things like that as well, which is great. We can refine papers, so like with the ink densities and things like that. So we may find that a paper is the base media type is just putting down too much ink for it. So we may just refine that a little bit. I know that we may have to refine it for, say, a paper like Matte Ultra or something like that, where you might see a little bit of blotching and a bit too much ink going down on the page. Well, you can do that in this software and you can refine it, print some tests, let them dry as well. That's really important, these tests. Let them dry down so at least you can have a look at it. I'm quite shocked by the difference actually in the blues here. And also, I think the tiny little bit more ink on the page, yeah, it does have a little bit more impact as well. So it is really good. So I hope that's helped and been useful in creating media types in here. Like I said, I don't know if you need to do it for every paper, only if possibly you're seeing issues from some people, but if you're using the accountancy software, then it is a must because you'll get that accurate reporting on how much your prints are actually costing you. Okay, again, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments or give us a call. But don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel as well, and also sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter and download The Art of Printing, the free ebook from us. I'll put all the links and everything in the description below. So on that note, I will see you next week. Bye-bye.